So one of the things that you can do with this show now is Chase has been putting in chapters, different things we're talking about, so you could search out different things and see what you want to with the content that you have, and absolutely love it. I hope you use that feature to do that, because this one is a little bit longer. I had no idea that I went that long. I did. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed doing it. Here's what else I need. We want to grow this motherfucker. We're trying to figure out the things that we need to do. Let's just say there's certain things that I don't understand yet, and that Chase is learning on how different things work with YouTube and other platforms that we'll be on soon to get out to more people, to grow the program. We're learning those things, right? I do know one thing, though. The number one thing that you can do for us, please like it, please subscribe. That's a comment. That's all great. That helps. But the one thing that's above all of those put together, sharing. So please subscribe, but please share the show. I'm the fucking guy. Doesn't end well unless it ends. They never believe me. I would never drop the ball. I know I'm just report the fucking obvious. With the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. Just the motherfucking jump. Just go. And this is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I am your host, Troy Neff, the fucking guy, the fucking happy guy. The morning after the election. So I know you guys all, it's Thursday for y'all seeing this. We decided we couldn't stream on Tuesday during the election, but I can see, I really feel like this show is going to do something, and we will be live in 4 years.
A lot sooner than
that. But we will, but specifically for the election in 4 years.
Gotcha. Oh, that will definitely
specifically
be
we will for that. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. So in consultation with Chase. Chase, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It was a fun night last night.
Yes, it was. We're going to talk about it. And we decided that it'd be best not to record yesterday as we usually do, to record here Wednesday after the election. So just give thoughts, and instead of speculating again and then not getting it till Thursday and then that not being up till Tuesday, where this is more current. Yeah. And in the heat of the emotion, a lot of emotion. Honestly, I don't mind admitting, I know Trump rarely cries or talks about that. It's just his personality. He's talked about it, but I cried last night. I had tears, man. I was like, and I think part of it was watching Charlie Kirk, and he was very emotional because for Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk is the head of Turning Point. Okay. And some of y'all don't know who the fuck this dude is.
Including me.
And if you do, you probably are younger, but a lot of you don't know who the fuck this dude is, and you need to know. Trump didn't say his name last night. I hope that he does say his name, in an upcoming speech or mention him.
Yeah.
Because I am telling you, Trump does not get elected without the work that Charlie Kirk and Turning Point did for this election.
Okay.
It was as big or bigger than even what Elon Musk did.
Really?
So I think there's it's like a three-legged stool.
Okay.
I think what Trump did, just his normal shit.
Yeah.
And how he used the internet, even going back to 2016, and information and getting it out there, and his ability to make news for any reason, for any reason, good, bad, you say whatever you want about him, but his ability to do that, which is free.
Yeah.
Literally free. And he's a master at it, okay? So his ability to do that, but his willingness, even being somebody who's 78 years old, to understand, and maybe not understand all of it, and maybe it's influenced, by his son, because he does talk about his son and the influence his son had on him going on different podcasts and different things. But it really was Trump going on these podcasts and understanding how important that was.
Super important.
Huge. And here, I'm doing my weave now. I'm doing the Trump weave. Because you have to understand that it's different going on, and maybe they'll change this in the future, but it's different going on a podcast than it is going on 60 Minutes.
100%.
Okay?
Much different.
Well, here's the big thing I'm talking about it being different, and not just the setting of it and the timing, because I think anybody, especially when there's commercials and how they cut it up and break it up, yeah, that's way different than doing a solid fucking 3 hours where Trump didn't even take a piss break on Joe Rogan. I can't do that. I'm 56 and I can't do that. Okay, I gotta take at least one piss break every 50 to 70 minutes. I do, and it's sometimes I've even gotten doing it here. Y'all don't know because I just tell him to insert our little blurb commercial thing. I'm taking a piss. Okay, that's what it is. I have to, because I just started taking some prostate supplement to see if that helps. Okay. No, it's the truth, man. I don't know what to say. You get it all here. So, but here's the difference. They have licenses. They're using public airwaves. Not the case for podcasts. So there's not the same. So if 60 Minutes is going to have Trump on, they, during the election, they have to offer her equal time.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. So that's why there was some controversy on Saturday because Lorne Michaels, the head of Saturday Night Live, had said at the beginning of October, not having either candidate because we'd have to have both of them. But then at the last minute, they let Kamala Harris come on with no chance of Trump coming on because they did it they did it the Saturday before the election.
Yeah.
And that just shows you that liberals are like, fuck you to the rules, that the ends justify the means. Like, they don't care. Like, they really, really honestly don't care. They just think it's Hitler. We got to stop Hitler. And it's worth it. We're allowed to break the rules because he's Hitler. But let me tell you, I mean, there's one thing this showed. The results showed that calling him Hitler and calling us garbage didn't work.
Oh, no,
it didn't faze anyone anywhere. It didn't work. And it makes you look stupid, honestly. So you have to do that. So that's the thing. Now, Rogan did offer it to her. Now, and I've seen some people think that Rogan was kind of a diva and he should have went to her. Went to her fucking why?
For what? He's not the reason that
she was in motherfucking Texas, dude. She was in Houston.
He gave her the option.
Hey, dude, he said he would have come in at 3:00 in the morning to interview her if that's what she wanted.
Yeah, he gave her chances.
Yeah, no, but they wanted to dictate to him. It's his motherfucking show.
Yeah,
it's real simple. He treats, and I believe, despite him endorsing Trump at the end, he still would have been fair. To her, as fair as anybody.
I agree.
Just because that's just who he is. He just wants to find out and have a conversation, and I believe that's what he did, and that's what he did with Trump. She couldn't do that. She couldn't handle that. Just having a conversation for 3 hours, and Trump could. Well, 2.5. J.D. Vance was over 3 hours.
That was a great episode, by the way.
And then Elon Musk again before the election, who was fantastic, amazing, awesome.
I love how awkward he is.
Okay.
It's my favorite thing. I love it.
He's a nerd.
Hell yeah.
He's a wealthy nerd.
It makes me feel better because I stutter a lot, so it makes me feel so much better that
It's
someone like
it's
Elon
so
Musk is
great that
constantly
he
stuttering.
is a wealthy nerd, and it's, I don't want to say Trump is part, it's like the cool kids, but he's getting to hang out with the cool kids.
I mean, he had Dana White on stage with him. Like, people were chanting for Dana White at a Trump rally. Like, like it was crazy. It was crazy.
Dude, they so don't get us. They don't understand us. They don't want to. And that's why I said in the last couple of podcasts that this is a lot like 2016. More than 2020, that they just didn't understand or get it. And they didn't want to. And that's why they made the mistakes that they made. We'll get into those as well. But one of the legs, obviously, is what Trump and what Trump did.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk, and it's terrible the things that were said about him and are continuing to be said about him. Now, according to liberal media yesterday and today, X is a propaganda machine. Yep, according to the left, it's a propaganda machine. You all turned it into a propaganda machine before he had it by trying to control the speech on it. And there are almost no controls now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you can't be a total idiot.
Yeah.
But you can be.
You can get pretty close.
You can get pretty close.
You get really close. Yeah.
I'm a prime example. I love it. I want to do more, and I want to. That's probably next. We haven't talked about this. I think that platform is going to be transformational now.
Okay.
And nobody understands that yet. And podcasting is going to be a part of that. And I don't know how that podcasting works on X, but you
can just upload them just like regular.
Okay, but then let's do that, but not under me. Let's create like I have
like a random fan page almost.
No. Like let's do that under the Outlaw Apostle.
Oh,
I think. Do you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Like I think that is just Troy Neff, or I'll change it however I have to change it. I want a separate channel that's just podcasting on X.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to ask you to do that for each one of the socials, because then that way we can have.
I want to be on as many as we can.
I think because I know how we have it right now. We're doing it under your profile, and I think we can keep it that way. But apart from that, like additionally to that, I think it would be smart to have the Outlaw Apostle Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page.
Well, and then the other thing I want to do, and I don't know all the ins and outs of that, how some people have created like little communities.
Yeah.
On there.
So that's
okay.
like the whole thing about like
I want to do that too.
So that is the only thing we have to wait for enough subscribers.
Okay.
That's the only
we can have a community?
Oh yeah. I mean we can make one on like on Discord or Reddit. That's completely free.
Okay.
And I can do that for you if you'd like.
Yeah.
That's basically
I want to do something.
Yeah.
Because I want to bring the Outlaw Fitness family together.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
the Outlaw Apostle family, it's all together. And I have a story that we're going to be going over.
Okay.
That really, like, it's crazy. Well, I'll just bring it up now. So I didn't find the one that I was actually looking at, so I started researching it, and I found some others. But there are studies now, and you can do a little quick search there on. So liberal. Effeminate men have low testosterone. It's a thing, dude. And they've done some studies. Now, they haven't done extensive studies. They need to do bigger groups and the whole thing, but there's a connection, which I'm not surprised about. So if you're not like really hardcore liberal, and you're kind of on the fence, and because of the way society is trying to men to get into all their stupid fucking feelings and shit, that if they're not real hardcore about it, their testosterone levels are low. And when their testosterone levels are higher, they seem to push away from that and become more attracted to the more conservative ideas, principles, being motivated. And that totally explains why me talking about what I talk about and testosterone, and it's not like there aren't liberals that get treated for low T, but I think it's lesser numbers, honestly. And that's just speculation, but I think that's lesser numbers. And because almost, when I get people from TikTok, I'm attracting a certain group of people, and I'm not against helping liberals with their low T. I'm not an asshole about that stuff. I'm only an asshole when the other side's an asshole, when the other person is an asshole.
If not going to respect you, why would you respect
them?
Yeah,
I'll give you total respect. You want to have a good conversation, but when you want to come out and say stupid shit, man, I'm first guy. Tag me in. I'm good. I'm okay with chaos. Yeah. I'm okay with confrontation. Yeah. In fact, I kind of enjoy it.
I have the same issue. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's fun.
I'm okay with it. So I'm good with that. But it's so easily. So, I had some leftover shirts here and there. Just, I only had a couple in the guy sizes.
They sold out pretty quick.
Of the red Trump shirt, which I would be wearing right now and had on earlier, except I spilled coffee on it, so I had to put on the fucking guy on, but I got my MAGA hat on. And I do have some women's shirts left. Okay. So, I'll make you a deal, ladies. Okay, if you want a shirt for your girlfriend, and they're V-neck. The women's are actually V-neck. So, we can see. I'm just going to be honest. Almost all the women's shirts that I make, all are V-necks. All of them. And I'll wear V-necks, men's shirts sometimes. But, I wear jewelry. But the reason for the women, I like a little bit of cleavage. I'm not going to lie. That's just, you call it what you want. I'm a sexist. I'm whatever you want to label me as. I don't give a fuck. I like seeing a.
Hey, it's your brand.
I like seeing a little. You know what I'm saying? I do.
I love that so much.
I know.
I love it.
It's crazy.
But what was the deal you're gonna give women?
So I'll make a deal. Like, cover shipping.
Okay, there you go.
$10.
That's
cover
$10
shipping
for you.
Guys, get a Trump shirt for your women, because there's a lot of women supporting Trump. All right, this is what we got. This is the merch. All right. So, men, I don't really have anything left. All right, I just don't. These are fabulous shirts. People love them. We're not gonna have these again. We may do something else since Trump won that's gonna be different, but we're not doing this. Okay, we have some of these left for women in small, medium, large, and extra large. We don't have anything bigger than that. All right, nothing bigger than extra large. The MAGA, the only felons. I'll make a deal on these. These were $30. Okay, so I'm going to eat a little bit on these. Pay shipping, $10. So get your girl a shirt. Ladies, get yourself a shirt. Whatever. They're super popular. People absolutely love them when you wear them out. I'm telling you, the response you get is great. The other cool one we did, okay, I really like this because it doesn't say Trump on it. It doesn't say MAGA on it. So it's like secret. It's like secret MAGA. Okay, it's secret MAGA. Trump and the fight. Where do I have? Oh, I have my little bobblehead. Although I was going to grab it, but I can't. All right, so here. So this is cool. We have this in gray. We couldn't get blue like the men's in the V-neck, and we love women in the V-necks. And y'all, ladies, you look great in the V-neck. Just pinch them together. Show a little bit cleavage. It looks really, really good. Okay, so the gray ones, the fight. These are great. It's got the Outlaw Fitness logo on the side, the flag. If you don't like the flag, you're not my people. Fuck off, okay? But this is a great shirt. This is $25. So you can get that. You can get this, pay the shipping $10. You can get both of them, and you pay the shipping. You get 2 shirts, right? That's a cool thing to do. Men, the blue, light blue, and this is cool. I love the light blue. So men, same shirt with the fight. This is really cool. And, people who know will know, and people who don't, they're not going to know. It's still a cool ass shirt. Okay. $25 of these. These I have still in every size for men. So that goes from, I don't have small, it goes from medium to 3X. Okay. So these I have. That's the merch. Get your merch.
I mean, a
lot of women.
Now that he's president, I feel like it'd be
yeah,
socially a little bit more acceptable to wear. Isn't that weird to say?
I've seen it. I don't know, man. I saw a lot of it. I told you it was especially over 50. And in my gym, you could tell there were a handful of liberals in there. They kind of kept to themselves because we're all wearing our Trump hats. But men and women at Mountainside,
oh yeah,
we're 80-20.
Oh yeah,
we're 80-20. Yeah, because that's the other thing we were talking about. Dawn's hairdresser came here yesterday to do her hair, which was kind of cool here nice. Because, Dawn had a elective surgery last week. That's what we call it. It was elective. I like she didn't have to have it. But this is, like, how do I want to say it? I referred to Scottsdale. This is like Scottsdale Jr. Yeah. This is like rural Scottsdale. People from Scottsdale have moved out here. Yep. This will Queen Creek.
This will be the next.
Is a bougie area.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
It's not even.
And Dawn was not bougie at all. Did not think. But she's
acclimated.
She's decided she kind of likes it. It's not a bad thing. That is kind of cool to, have workout outfits that go together and are color coordinated, Even her son said something to her about it. It's really funny. Yeah. So, yeah, it's the whole bougie thing. It's this is it. And I love this area. I really, really do. I love that we're within 45, 50 minutes of Scottsdale, but I don't have to have that in my life every day, like I said. But I love this area. We're just far enough away. I like a little bit of rural because that's how I grew up as well. And so it's just everything is here. We just need 2 steakhouses. That's what we need. We need like a Texas Roadhouse closer that's not in Gilbert. And there's only one really high-end steakhouse close by, and that also is in Gilbert in Santan Village, which is Bourbon and Bones. Bourbon Steak and Bones. Bourbon and Bones, So, because then you have bourbon steak, but that's in Scottsdale.
Yeah, but
different.
I mean,
we
they're
need
building
one.
they're building
yes,
a lot
they
of
will,
stuff
but
right now, so within the next
but
year.
Come on, that we don't even have a Texas Roadhouse or a Longhorn yet?
No.
What the fuck, dude?
But I also think it's like fast food has become a lot more popular than dining out. So that's the only reason I would assume so is that they're
a lot of breweries, lot of breweries out
that's
here.
That's
everywhere,
what that's what people do in Arizona. They drink, especially like the younger generations and stuff like that. Like,
and I get that. That's totally cool. But we need the steakhouse.
No,
closer.
I agree. I don't think that people dine out as much. That's the only thing. But
we don't have to have a bunch of them, but we have to have
just
one.
Just one.
Just one. One of each. I'm good.
But I did want to go back because you were talking about the 3 legs.
The 3 legs. So the second leg is the podcasting.
Yeah.
And it's the new media. And it changed everything last night. And some people are not aware of it, how much it changed everything. Not just the podcasting, but some of it. Like when I was bringing it up in the gym today, other people around me, mostly younger people, they watched what I watched. They didn't watch CNN. Now, I did watch CNN, don't get me wrong. But I watched PBD, which is Patrick Bet-David.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of it simply because I didn't like the sound and the setup of it.
Yeah.
I think it would have been cool to be there at his headquarters and what he had going on. I think they could have done it better.
Yeah.
What I did watch was Charlie Kirk and his gang that was in like this. They were in a studio.
Okay.
And you had 4 guys. You had him and 3 other guys. And
so
then you brought up other people, maybe they were somewhere else. And so you had their picture there. And they were just analyzing the data all night and having that data come to them. and they did a better job of analyzing the data than any network. Any network. It wasn't even close. And I know this because I'm watching Charlie Kirk on my big screen, 75 inches, and I'm watching CNN on my phone. Just because, especially after I knew where they would be in denial, where they were kind of getting the idea of how things were going to go, but they didn't have to accept it yet, where they could hope that it was going to change.
We got to count all the votes.
that somebody was going to come and make a three-pointer, or like, because they treat it the way they do it. They treat it like a game, like it's no, it doesn't work like that. It's actually like baccarat.
Okay,
because when you play baccarat, the chute of cards is put in there, and the cards are going to come out
in whatever order they were set.
They can't change.
Yep.
It's set. It's done. But they act like, with this politics shit, that it's back and forth and up here and now down there.
That was one of the good things that one of the CNN reporters actually did pretty well. He was obviously a little upset about the results, but he was like
the shorter fat guy at the board.
Yes,
I don't know what his name was.
I forget. John King, I believe it was. Yeah, because he looks like an actor from like The Sopranos or something. So I was like, but he made a really good point. Yeah, John King.
Yeah, I'm not talking about him. There was another shorter dude that was actually at the
desk or at the board.
I thought it was at the board.
This John King was the person that was on the board.
There was somebody else though, too.
The guy that kept saying "now," the taller, skinnier guy. No. Anyway, so
but yeah, okay.
I believe he made a really good point, because he kept saying, "Oh, I'm gonna sound like we're like a broken record," but look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Like, it's just like in like certain states, he had like the advantage with like a few 100,000 people, and like, although yes, all the votes aren't counted
that's getting closer to the end.
Like, like it was just like. Yeah.
So let me explain to people who don't know, okay, who Charlie Kirk is and why he was so important. And I've been waiting for this for a while. As a conservative, let's go back to Trump in 2016. He's on the debate stage with Hillary Clinton, and she talks about things being rigged for the rich. And Trump, in Trump fashion, agrees with her. Yeah, it's rigged. And you're the people that fucking rigged it.
I'm just playing the game you're playing.
I'm just playing the game.
Yeah.
You all made the rules. It is what it is. Yeah. And it was astounding because people weren't expecting him to admit it.
Answer it that way, yeah.
Yeah. And he did. Dave Chappelle does a whole little skit on that.
Yes, he did.
Talking about that very thing. Like, what did he just say? He admitted it's rigged? Yeah. And he told you how and who the fuck did it. So that's super important. So, I grew up that we had voting day. And I don't know when the first time we decided it was a good idea to start voting early. But it's probably been, 20, 25 years now. It's been a minute.
No, that's a great question, actually.
Yeah. When was the first voting early? What year? Yeah, there you go. You gotta put U.S. we don't give a shit about Australia. Started when? Yeah, that's just giving us when it starts now. But anyways, so I don't know what year it was, but we started, I don't know, with a couple of weeks. Some places it's a month. We always had mail-in voting, but you had to like have a reason. You had to give a
like
reason.
You were like in overseas.
You could be on vacation. You could be out of the country or whatever, and you could get like an absentee ballot. Yeah, when did it start? 92?
The early 1990s.
Yeah, so it's been a minute. It's been a while. But growing up, we didn't have that. And then it's just gotten out of control, and it's different in every state. And then you have this shit about who can have custody of the ballot when, and that's where you get into the harvesting, to where you can get ballots where to me, that ballot should be placed by the person who
is voting,
yeah, should put it in whatever box it has to go in, wherever that fucking box is. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
I shouldn't be able to go door to door with, like my pillowcase in here. Just drop your ballot here, and I'll go take it for you. You know what I'm saying?
That is stupid. Yeah, I agree.
And to me, but I know how bad people are. People can't follow instructions for motherfucking shit, and I know that because I deal with you motherfuckers. You can't even put backwater in a vial correctly. Because then you're telling me you're gonna shake it up and shit. Like, don't shake it. We don't shake peptides. I mean, I
didn't know that though.
Yeah.
But anyways, before I distract you.
Yeah, they just don't know. And so people don't fill it out correctly. They don't put the address on it. Like, I'm sorry, if you can't follow instructions, some simple instructions, if your vote don't get counted because you didn't put it in the envelope that it was supposed to go in to protect the vote, then tough shit, dude.
It's not like it's a complicated like algorithm that you need to figure out. Like it's simple.
Not.
Like put your name here and address.
But my
here.
whole point is that the Democrats had a machine of people, an apparatus that was really put together by the party and really wasn't up to the candidate, that whoever the candidate ended up being had access to this machine.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? And they were very good at getting a short bus, driving around, filling up the short bus, and taking people to the polls.
Honestly, it's not a horrible idea though.
I'm not saying that, but just for a month.
Like it's like honestly, I was going through that whole thing in my head last night when I was watching the election, and like I don't understand why it wouldn't be so hard to like just make it be like, all right, within the month, or again, like you said, the month or two, where it's like, all right, we need every single person, and
or a week. How about we do a week? Can we do a week?
Yeah, because we don't have to do all this.
We don't have to do for 30 days or 45 days, but they keep wanting to make it. And anybody who wants it shorter, you just don't want people's votes to count. Or like what they wanted to do, like in some areas, they wanted to be able to accept ballots that weren't postmarked up to 3 days after the voting day. So voting day's on the 5th. They wanted to be able to accept ballots up to the 8th. And dude,
I don't know about that.
That's bullshit, dude. Because we should have an answer that night, period. Now, I believed we were going to have an answer last night.
You were on the nose,
and I believed that just because I believed it was going to be so dominant and such a big win that it was going to be that it was going to be undeniable. That we might have some things that weren't quite resolved, but it wasn't going to matter. The big question was going to be answered.
Yeah.
And it was.
Surprisingly super quick, by the way.
But go back and listen to the podcast. I gave my reasons that I understood what was going on the last few weeks, and I didn't know prior to that.
Yeah.
And that's where Charlie Kirk comes in.
Gotcha.
Okay. The Republicans sucked at taking the rules, the voting rules in each state as they were, and just work the rules. If the rule says you can do this, then go get the votes that way.
Yeah.
If you could take your pillowcase and go door to door or whatever the fuck it is, whatever the harvesting bullshit is, if you can harvest, then go harvest votes. Stop bitching about it being legal. It is legal. It's the rule. So it's like it's so in a boxing match, you can't hit below the belt, right?
Yeah.
It's not legal. But if it were legal and that motherfucker's hitting you in the nuts, hit him back in the nuts.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do what you're allowed to do. Use the rules. Play by the rules. And the Republicans sucked at it. And we've been getting our fucking asses kicked for 20 years because nobody wanted to decide, okay. And that's where I think Charlie Kirk is an amazing human being, that because people bitch about shit.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of bitching about it, he did something about it. He put something together and got a group of people and got people who had money and could invest in it, okay, and hire people to go to these areas. And this is, they went to the colleges. They talked to the kids.
Oh, so this is the guy that sits in front of the colleges and says, like, change my mind type stuff. Like they have like
kind of stuff like that, a little bit.
Okay. Now,
yeah. If you go on Jubilee, you can pull up a Jubilee with Charlie Kirk.
I get where you're. Okay, cool.
Right, but not just that. Like he got a lot of first time voters, and just people in general in different areas are put together programs in certain areas for phone calls, for door knocks, to get the vote, to get the registration to the person, to get the vote, to created a system to find the person, get them the ballot, and then get them to vote, and then get the ballot from them, however it needed to be done, whatever the rules were in that area, in that state.
Yeah.
That's why you saw almost all across the country that one of the things that Trump did to win was he was about 2 to 3% better than every place he was in 2020. He was just a little bit better.
That's all you need.
And even in places that he didn't win, he closed the gap. Like there was one county that he won where Trump won, where it was a pretty big gap. Like Biden had won that county by like 14%. And Trump won it by 1.5% of the total vote. Now, 1.5% might not seem like a lot, but that's a 15% flip, dude.
A lot.
It's a big flip.
That was another thing that I was kind of like, because again, I never really watched politics growing up, but that was another thing that I realized, like watching like the politics, like just because you're winning the county or whatever doesn't necessarily mean you're doing well. Like when they pulled up the whole like Kamala like underperforming in pretty much all counties
everywhere.
Like that adds up. Like it's
yes, and she underperformed in counties that were dominant Democrats.
Exactly.
She didn't improve in areas that she already owned.
Exactly.
She went backwards
in a lot of those places.
And we'll avoid the questions for now about why that might be or how it was.
Yeah, there was a lot of
that,
back and forth about that.
Well, yeah, because I understand the appeal of Obama.
Yeah.
I can appreciate his charisma, even though I don't agree with his policies. I get that in his popularity that he had, at least the first time. Okay.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that Biden outperformed Obama each time?
That's a little weird now that you say that out loud. It's a little weird now that you say that out loud. That is
really?
That is kind of crazy.
It's very, very crazy. That's why there were all the questions like, he outperformed Obama? He didn't just win. He outperformed Obama's numbers. And it just like, nobody was that thrilled with that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again, with Biden, especially in 20, maybe not so much in 16, but for sure in 20, you had a lot of people that voted for whoever the Democratic candidate was because they weren't Trump, because they hated Trump so much.
Yeah.
And that was even greater in 20 than it was in 16.
Yep.
Okay. Where people genuinely voted for Obama. They weren't necessarily voting against the Republican
Yep.
nominee. You know, they weren't voting against
They're
Mitt Romney.
Yeah, they weren't voting against.
Oh, I hate Mitt Romney, you know, and I just can't stand him. I don't care who the other person is. Yeah. And that was strong this time too. You know, that really, I heard, I forget the guy's name, very, very well spoken. It wasn't that Destiny dude, but somebody who was really, really good. And this dude just hates Trump. And he was interviewed by someone who was also interviewing Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
It was like a threesome. Like like she was interviewing both of them.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
And like that guy, like his reasons really came down to she's not Trump. That I can't give you a lot of good reasons why I want to, but for me, for him, that was enough. Yeah. Just the fact that it wasn't Trump, because he felt that strongly about it. And that's hard, man. That's a hard win. Because I also believe, and I believe in the law of attraction.
Yep.
Okay. And if you focus on something you hate, you're going to get more of the fucking thing you hate. So when Republicans focused on Obama, instead of focusing on their own side and the positive things on their own side, you know what they got more of? They got more Obama.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing. Same thing with this. And that's one of the reasons I thought Trump would win in 20 and was surprised when he didn't. But I was totally different confident this time than I was then.
Yeah. I honestly
totally different.
To be honest, I didn't fully believe you, but God, damn, were you right?
Well, I just looked at this and I said, and I tell you this, one of the things I'm good at is I'm good at figuring out who knows their shit. Who can I trust? And the thing about watching Charlie last night was Charlie and his group knew every fucking county in the United States. Literally, because they've been doing nothing but this pretty much for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess
they're focusing on this. Right. Yeah. So they know every county. Where can we go? Where can we put our resources? What's going to benefit the most, where we can make the biggest difference, and came up with a game plan to go into those counties, to go into college towns, to go wherever across the country, to go into the swing states and make a difference. Yeah. He knew. So when the results started coming in, they could read the tea leaves like nobody could read the tea leaves. Because they knew the county so well. They knew what the numbers were before, what they were now, how many it had increased by, how many, maybe that county had 50,000 registered Republicans and there were 65,000 registered Democrats.
Oh, they had those numbers too.
Dude, they had it all. All that stuff's public, Yeah. The only thing that's not public is how you vote. Okay, but if you vote, they could find out you voted or didn't vote.
Yeah, that I know that. Yeah.
Or how you're registered, and registered like Republican, independent, and what your inclination is. And they did focus a lot on independence as well, because look at what Trump did with independence that none of these fuckers, experts, were expecting. Trump killed with the independence. Okay, they thought that would be the swing that would, these like middle people would go more to the left, and they didn't. Trump got them by a pretty good number, by a pretty good margin.
Okay. I didn't get to see those numbers, so I'm not too
that was just really, really good. But Charlie was able to go through, and they understood, and then they knew the states and the difference, so that when you had Pennsylvania, for example, later in the game, before anybody called it, that when Trump was up by pretty much about 200,000 votes, and there were 400,000 votes that hadn't been counted yet. And then they could look at the areas and say, well, this county is only 30% reported, and this is a red county.
Okay.
This is a blue county. So they can figure out the percentages there. And they knew that it was impossible at that point.
Yeah.
Because she would have needed almost every vote to win, or it would have had to been 70-30, 80-20. And those numbers wasn't possible because it was in a county, this county and that county were 55-45 Trump.
Yep.
So there's no way she could overcome that and overcome those numbers. And boom, they knew.
That was one of the big highlights, that they were.
And literally, Charlie called, well, they didn't officially call it. They waited.
Mm-hmm.
But watching the show, you knew that it was over about an hour before Fox News actually called it, that she had no path. And I'm telling people, I don't know, pull up my Facebook. My Facebook was on fire last night, man. I mean, for Facebook.
I should have had it open. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think that through.
Dude, if you were on Facebook last night.
Yeah.
And you knew me.
I should have been.
My Facebook was the motherfucking place to be. Yeah, just go all the way to I started. Just scroll down. Yeah. I did I'm posting all this shit. So we're
nice. Oh
yeah, some people so.
Oh, by the way, that was a great. What?
Yeah, I think that's a good trade.
Okay.
Well, trade, so to speak. I think it was a good deal.
Yeah.
So
that's
what
a nice
was
hat.
it? Yeah, dark MAGA. I love it. I need to get that writing on.
I like that.
On a hat, on a shirt. Yeah, I want to do that. Oh, dude, the squirrel. We didn't talk about the squirrel. Did we talk about Peanut?
Oh, the fact that they took we didn't talk about it, but I saw that the fact that one lady made a complaint or something like that, and they took
this was like a legit.
And they used the money for this to help abandon their all these. Yeah, no, that was one of the.
This is terrible, dude.
Horrible. It was horrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
it was the government
it made me upset.
Storming somebody's house over a squirrel.
This made me super upset. It was so stupid, and they euthanized the 2 or 3 of them.
Well, they said they made up a story about the squirrel biting somebody.
Is that what it was?
But after they came and got the squirrel, but the squirrel wasn't biting. This squirrel was like a famous squirrel, Peanut, on Instagram,
and they used all the funds that they got from those socials to help.
I know,
and. Yeah, no, that got me so upset.
And then a raccoon too, right?
A raccoon and a
squirrel.
And
people when you live out in rural areas like me. Mm-hmm. Okay, stop. Yeah,
is it right here? Okay.
Yeah, because it's not 2 days ago. Oh, but yeah, we'll start there too. But yeah, crazy shit, dude. Crazy shit. Just it's so bad. So this goes back. This is a couple days ago. I posted this. Because you have these commercials that were running that kept talking about, how Trump's friends with Musk and he's going to give rich people tax breaks and I'm a working man and Kamala's going to take care of me. Get the fuck out of here. So he finally came out and said $11 billion in taxes.
Yikes.
So here's what rich people like Musk can do. They can delay taxes. Okay. They can push taxes back. Now, I'm not going to get into the weeds of this.
Okay.
But the only thing that Trump didn't do that I wanted him to do, tax-wise, is I think the only group of wealthy people that get a break that they don't deserve are hedge fund managers.
Gotcha.
Okay? And because they're taxed on the gains like an investor would be taxed, which would be lower than federal income tax.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When really they're doing it as a job and it really should be okay. So there's like a loophole for hedge fund managers that they talked about closing and nobody has ever closed because hedge fund managers give both sides a shit ton of fucking money. Okay. Elon Musk is not a hedge fund manager. He's just not.
Yeah.
And I corrected a friend that I knew from high school. He was about a year younger than me.
Okay.
Talking about taxes.
Okay.
And that they tried to say, well, that Warren Buffett pays a lower tax rate than his secretary. No, he doesn't. Okay, he doesn't. What happens is this, is when people reach a certain level of wealth and they're getting their money from their investment, mainly their investments. Okay. That money is taxed at a different rate than your income is. Okay. So, like, if you, whatever your income is and it's gradually goes up, look, I know this because I was subjected to it. You know, I thought it was great. You know, I remember, making a couple $100,000 a year, making $400,000 or $500,000 a year, making $800,000 a year. And then the year I made $800,000 a year, I found out that somewhere around, some things at 250, but mainly at 400 back then. Okay. That this tax deduction that everybody else gets goes away if you make more than 400,000. I don't get to take it.
So it's only like a specific
Dude, the
bracket.
people that get screwed, because people in their stupid motherfucking memes, okay? The rich get richer. The poor are lazy. They get taken care of, and the middle class pays for it all. No, they don't. No, they don't, because the numbers don't bear that out.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is go to a fucking IRS website and pull the numbers to see who pays the motherfucking taxes.
Serious.
That's all you have to do. And the people who really get screwed are the affluent. Okay, let me explain the difference to you. I've never been wealthy. But I've been affluent twice.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I was affluent when I was when I owned my financial firm, the investment business. I was affluent. You know, I was making $600,000 to $800,000 a year. I was affluent, meaning I made really good money,
but it was within.
But I was not. I did not have. I was not a millionaire.
Yeah.
Okay. I've made $1 million again in the last year. I'm not a millionaire.
Yeah.
A true millionaire. You can be somebody, and I had them as a financial advisor. I had clients who were millionaires who made $80,000 to $120,000 a year.
Okay.
Well, Troy, how were they millionaires? Because they had a fucking $1 million in investments, not counting their home.
Yeah.
Okay. Their 401k, IRAs, investment accounts, savings, whatever. They had $1 million or more that they didn't need to touch. There's a famous book that's worth reading. That's a very, very good book called The Millionaire Next Door. These people could have lived in, like one of my clients, especially the engineer clients I had from Marathon Oil. Marathon was about 45 minutes south of Perrysburg, where my office was.
Okay.
And engineers make really, really good money.
Yep.
And they just lived in a regular neighborhood. They lived in a 30-year-old neighborhood, in a 25-year-old house, and they could move. They had the money. They could move to my neighborhood with the $650,000 house to $1 million house. And this is, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
All right. They could, but they didn't. They drove modest cars, usually Hondas and Toyota Camrys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they just lived, but they were, your single-digit millionaires.
Yeah.
But they were millionaires. The people who really pay the most, like really get hammered tax-wise, is your affluent people, because they're making a good income. They're paying the highest taxes, okay, at the highest rates. Now, when somebody's in whatever I don't even know what the highest tax bracket is now, because it's changed over the last few years. But when people are in the highest tax bracket, they're not paying that. Yeah, here you go. So when somebody gets to the highest, and it's even higher than that, right? Because
there's 3 more rows.
Okay, 37. I thought it was 38, but there you go. So when somebody gets into the 37% tax bracket, they're not paying 37% taxes on all that money. They're paying that on any income above the $609,000 if they're single, and married filing jointly $731,000. Now, why isn't that like $1,018,000? Do you understand what I'm trying to say there?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you're married filing jointly, why can't you both?
Make
you see
this give or take. Yeah.
Yeah, right? That's what we refer to as the marriage penalty.
But I always thought it was better to be married for tax reasons.
Not always. You know what's better?
Mm.
Is to have kids.
That's what it was, yeah. Because I remember people making a lot of jokes saying like, "Oh, you want some tax free have some kids?"
Or you know when the best month to actually have the kid? December. Because you get the tax break for the whole motherfucking year, and the kid was born in December.
So you don't have all that extra like money that you had
didn't
to spend
have.
on the
You
kid.
really didn't have the expense, right?
Interesting.
But you get the whole year. Sure.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
So here, this is exactly what I'm saying. I'm glad you pulled this up. So, and again, it doesn't show on here, but I'm telling you, at different points, okay, you lose certain deductions. And so this is just on income, okay? But then pull up capital gains tax. Yep, perfect. There we go. See the difference?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, but let me explain this, okay? You got to understand. So you're working, you're making money, you pay taxes on your income.
Yep.
You don't spend it all.
No.
You set a part of it aside and you invest it, right? And then that's going to pay capital gains if you sell.
Yeah.
Okay. Or it could pay dividends, okay, which are also lower than income taxes. It's going to pay dividends. Yeah. And you'll pay a lower tax on it. But you already paid income tax on that money.
Yep.
This is capital. So, and you took a risk with that money.
Yep.
And you can only write you can write it off against you can write off losses against other gains, but against income, it's a small number. It's like 3,000. It's tiny. You could carry it forward, but it doesn't. But you're still taking a risk. So how much tax are you going to put on somebody that's taking a risk with their money? They've already paid income tax on it, the higher rate.
Yep.
But again, so Warren Buffett already paid taxes on that money. He invested that money, and when he pulls that money out and he sells some McDonald's stock, right? He's going to pay the 20%. But that doesn't mean he's paying less than his fucking secretary. He's paid tax on that money twice now. He paid income tax and capital gains tax.
Yeah.
All right. Does that make sense now?
It makes a lot of sense, yeah.
People like you.
It's because
you got to understand this shit,
like,
man. Learn this shit.
They just think money means income.
It doesn't work like that. And these wealthy people, like Warren Buffett will say it. Bill Gates will say it. Bill Gates' dad said it on my radio show. I told you before I interviewed Bill Gates' dad. Yeah. And I hammered him. And you know what I hammered him about? Dude, when they say, we're okay with paying you, just raise our taxes. Yes, you should raise our, because they feel guilty. Yeah. You know, they feel that guilt. They have too much money, yeah. Because they were part of the Lucky Sperm Club or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, so they feel guilty. Great, you feel guilty. You know what, motherfucker? There's no rule that says you have to take every tax deduction that you're entitled to. Now, I believe you should.
I mean, it's your...
Whatever the rules are, use the motherfucking rules. But you don't have to.
And if you feel self-conscious, donate some money. Yeah,
go help Give it people. To the IRS.
Go help some people.
Donate money to the IRS. I think it's stupid to donate money to the IRS. I would rather you set up a foundation like they all have and donate money other ways. Yep. And they should be legitimate foundations doing legitimate work or whatever. And that's all great. That should be that way. I think they can do much more good than the government can do to give them. But if you feel that way, please, if you feel our government is that efficient, do it. But shut the fuck up about telling other people what they should do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's my point. And I'm really tired of people telling anybody that has money what they shouldn't really buy that They really shouldn't buy that Lamborghini because they could feed 50 homeless people. They may not be feeding 50 homeless people buying the Lamborghini,
Yeah.
but they are feeding the people that built that Lamborghini and the people that built the parts for that Lamborghini
And the people that will maintain the
and
Lamborghini.
the people that worked at the restaurants and served lunch to the people that built the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a snowball people don't really realize.
Oh, you mean the trickle down?
The trickle down. A little bit. I like that word better. I like it.
Yeah. Well, you see, that you're so young. It's called trickle down economics.
Trickle down.
Yeah,
economics.
and yeah, that's a whole Reagan thing, and people said, it doesn't really. Do you know who employs people?
The rich.
Rich people employ people. Broke people don't employ anyone.
No, they do not. Yeah, no. If it
No.
wasn't for the rich, there wouldn't. I mean, realistically, what? Because everything that we get luxury wise is.
Yep. See, it's exactly what I said it was. Reagan and everything right there in the description. That's so funny. Trickle down economics is the idea that, and it's not just an idea, it's an actual fucking fact. That economic policies that benefit the wealthy will eventually benefit the entire economy. The term is often used to describe supply-side economic policies of Ronald Reagan administration known as Reaganomics. Now, right after this, Bill Clinton got in office. Okay? And Bill Clinton decided it was a good idea to go after the rich.
Mm-hmm.
And if you bought a boat that was, I don't know what the number was, if it was $500,000,
whatever number
but whatever the number was,
yeah.
If you bought a luxury new boat,
Mm-hmm.
that you would have to pay an additional 10% tax or whatever. Do you know what happened?
What happened?
Almost put people who build boats out of business.
Yikes.
And the people who build boats, because you know what the rich did instead? Where they didn't have to pay the tax?
They just got a smaller boat.
Nope.
That
That was on new boats.
They
bought used big ass motherfucking boats, dude.
So it was only
Dude, rich
specifically
people
on new
aren't
boats?
stupid. They are rich because they're usually
they know how to use their
smart.
money. Yeah, they know how to use their money.
They know something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
That is hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
Even now, they tried to CEOs make too much money. So guess what they did? So if you made more than $1 million, there's going to be a special tax, right? So instead, corporations started
laying people off.
No, they started giving CEOs more stock options.
Oh, because then it's not technically.
Yes.
Is that why Chase is giving us some money?
Dude, and then people the CEO made $18 million last year. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He made $1 million. That was what his salary was. He got stock options. The stock went up. He had to hold it for 2 years. He held it for 3. The stock went up. Everybody that owned the stock made money.
Yep.
Right? And he sold the stock. But it's not a bad incentive-wise.
No.
It's not terrible.
No.
Because everybody that owned the stock made money.
Exactly.
And you middle-class motherfuckers, okay, that bitch about this shit, you have 401ks, most of you.
Yeah.
Right? If you work for any of the automotive companies, it didn't used to be this way years ago. Not all of them did, but they all do now.
Yeah.
You don't have traditional pensions, but you have 401ks.
Yeah.
And in that 401k, you usually have mutual fund choices.
Mm-hmm.
Some even allow you to buy individual stocks and let you control it that way too.
Depends,
it's really
yeah.
cool. Yeah, no, that is an option some have. And you, in that mutual fund, guess what's in there? McDonald's, Big Pharma.
Big corporation.
Of course.
The important one, because they know you're not going to be losing money if we hand you these ones, so you're going to be a little bit more okay with the idea of us basically investing for
You
almost in a way.
benefit.
Yeah.
When the stock goes up.
Yeah, 100%. That was a big thing because they
Yeah.
were talking about the whole auto thing up in some like I think Michigan it was where they had a few like dealerships where like they're laying people off because they had so many like cars in the parking lot or whatever.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Now it's interesting to think that like because realistically, right, the people at the very top that are controlling all the different industries and stuff like that, if they don't have the money to allow things to be cheaper and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like how is it going to be? I don't know. Doesn't make
Yeah.
the trickle down
Trickle
economics.
down.
It just makes sense. It
Well,
honestly
it does
It
make
just
sense, and
makes
it
sense.
works. Okay, it works.
It doesn't
Trust
apply-
me, it works.
Yeah, it doesn't apply to every single.
It doesn't trickle
multi-million-
up because the people at the bottom have no money.
But
And people at the lower end of the middle class, wherever that starts now.
yeah,
I don't even know what we even call the middle class anymore. But wherever that number is, a lot of those people get certain benefits now, like the earned income tax credit, which actually allows you, let's say you paid 30, like you get a paycheck and your company takes your money out and sends it to the IRS, right? And you get that money back, some of it back at the end of the year, right?
Yep.
Some people get all of it back and even get money back that they didn't pay in. So they get all the money back, but because of the earned income tax credit, that allows you to get money extra, which is basically welfare, which is what I call welfare without the indignity of having to stand in the welfare line.
Yeah.
But again,
I mean,
if you're entitled to it, take it. I don't have any problem with that. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not for this system. I think the system sucks. I'm for a national sales tax or just a flat tax. Either one. I don't care which we choose.
That would make things nice and simple.
Either one I'm good with.
Imagine a national tax, just one flat number.
On anything you buy.
That'd be crazy. Smart.
New.
But crazy.
But again, who would pay the tax then? Everyone. And the people that work in the underground economy, drug dealers who don't pay income taxes now, well, they would pay, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Because they're paying tax on whatever new shit they buy.
Exactly.
It's fair. It's what it should be. And if you want to buy something used, you don't make as much money. You're buying a used vehicle.
Yeah.
You're not going to pay the tax. You want to buy, like me, I bought a new Range Rover. I'm going to pay, 10%, 50%. I'm going to pay tax on the new.
Because that's something you chose to do.
That's something I chose to do. Yeah. It's a choice. You don't have to do that.
You're not forced to buy a brand new.
That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. That's how our country was originally set up, basically like that. And tariffs that people don't understand.
That's scaring a lot of people, by the way. Tariffs.
Well, it didn't scare them enough because they voted for Trump.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay. And tariffs were what protected we would not have a steel industry today if it weren't for tariffs.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, because you would have Japan, you had the China, who what they would do is they would collude because of the type of governments they are. They would collude with different industries to make something and sell it at a loss. So it costs them $100 to make, but they're selling it for $80. So that they could put American companies out of business.
Gotcha. And
then they can raise the price.
Raise them. Gotcha. Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But that's what we deal with.
Chess game
Yes. And what Trump was like, fuck you, motherfuckers. Your thing, we're going to put a 50% tariff on it. So you don't get to sell it for 80. It's going to be 120. We're selling it for 100, and Americans are going to buy it for 100, not 120, and keep the person that's making that product for $100 employed.
The other thing,
keeping them employed.
The other thing I heard about the use of tariffs, it's not necessarily the idea of that, the tariffs are going to happen, but it's a negotiation thing, right?
And he used it before, okay? And here's the thing. We're just going to go with Mexico. You're Mexico, I'm USA.
Cool.
Okay, you're Mexico, I'm USA. Here's the deal. I want to send beer to Mexico. I want to send Bud. I'm Budweiser. I want to send Bud to Mexico. And you all got Mexican beer. And you're trying to protect Mexican beer companies. Okay. So you're placing a 20% tariff on U.S. beer going into Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do to you, I'm going to place a 40% tariff on Mexican beer coming to the United States.
Yeah.
Or guess what you can do?
Lower the.
No, what you can do is not have any tariff on it, and I won't have any tariff on it. That's called free trade. That's true free trade.
Okay.
Because that's the problem with China, right?
Yeah.
Is we allow their products into our country, they're not buying our shit.
Gotcha.
But Trump got them to say they're gonna buy so much of our shit every year.
Yeah.
And they had to stick to it because there was such a big difference. Or don't. And as an American, are you really gonna motherfucking bitch? Oh, that's a tax on Americans. I thought you wanted to buy American.
That's like one of the biggest things in the past few years.
Over 2025. It's been a while. Yeah. Okay. So do you want to employ your fellow American? Who do you want to employ? And all Trump is saying, China wants to build Chinese cars because Japan used to do this. They used to ship all those motherfucking cars here. But we said, Japan is another one. You know, what is one of the most American cars you can fucking buy in this country? Do you know what it is?
If I had to say, it would probably be like a Camaro.
Honda? Yeah. I'm dead serious, man.
I'm not surprised. No, you're not wrong, though, actually.
No, because the parts are made here. It's assembled here.
Cheaper to make.
I'm not saying it's cheaper to make, but it's made here because we said if you're going to make them somewhere else and send them here, fuck you. We're going to put a tariff on it. But... And Trump said that, build your plant here. Employ Americans to build the car.
Yeah.
No tariffs.
I remember that part, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that complicated. You know, Trump doesn't want to place tariffs on anybody.
No.
Just don't place tariffs on our shit and buy our shit too.
Exactly.
That's all. We'll buy your shit, you buy our shit. We'll all buy shit.
It's people need to
bunch of buying shit.
That it's just
consumers.
It's the way he says it. It's not what he's saying. Like
it's the way that they frame it afterwards.
I guess that's a big part as well too. But I do want to go back to
because the 3 legs.
The 3 legs. What was the third leg that would
So the first leg we said was the podcasting, right? Well, no, the first leg we said was Trump just himself being Trump.
Yes.
And the second leg was the podcasting.
Primarily Kirk, though.
Yeah. Charlie Kirk and well, not just Joe Rogan, you know, all of the new media.
Yes.
And then the third part I actually did already say, and that is using the rules.
Gotcha.
And Charlie was responsible for a big part of that on the Republican side.
Gotcha. Okay.
That for the first time, and now they have that infrastructure in place. Now they know how to do it. What they had to do was keep the Democrats from winning.
Yeah.
Because what Elon Musk has said is one of the things that the Democrats were doing is sending immigrants to swing states so that in the future they could close the gap in those states, and you're not going to have a choice anymore. Your choice is going to be California. Your choice is going to be which liberal candidate you're going to vote for. You people that bitch about 2 fucking parties and want 3 parties, 4, then you have to build coalitions like in countries like Israel. You have to get this group that's bigger and these 2 smaller groups to agree with you so you can form a government. Fuck that shit, dude. Okay? Come on, man. Pick whichever party that best suits you and your values. And then if you have a problem with it, which I did, I had a problem with the Republican Party, change it. Change it from within. And I can tell you, I spoke with this to Dawn. I think it was even today.
Okay.
I don't think it was last. It was today. Me and my friend, Gino Chiappetta, he started with me in the financial business.
Okay.
He didn't golf very much. He's a big skier, but he would golf occasionally with me. I was a big golfer, man. I'd golf or hit balls almost every day. Like I was a huge golfer.
Yeah.
But he'd go occasionally. We'd go to this little shitty golf course, and I didn't really do it. He would. We'd have a one hitter with us. We'd have a little.
Yeah.
You know, we'd be smoking some weed, and I loved weed for a long time. I loved weed because nothing bad happened to me when I smoked weed.
Yep.
everything bad happened to me with alcohol or other drugs, never weed.
Yeah.
Ever. So I had a good relationship with weed for quite a while. But I stopped because I wanted to be sober, because even the weed could lead me back to drinking again. Yeah. So I don't do anything when I talk about being sober, sobriety, I'm talking about not using, period.
Being
right?
sober.
But we were in our mid-20s,
okay.
mid to late 20s at this point. So 30 years ago, because I'm 56, going to be 57. So literally 30 years ago. And we would talk about this on the golf course, and we would talk about politics, and we were conservatives. Mm-hmm. We were, look, I've never been like how you're supposed to be kind of a Democrat and have a heart when you're young. I never had a heart. Okay. Yeah. I've always been a conservative from pretty much junior high on, when I first was interested in that kind of thing. But I was a different kind of conservative because we smoked weed. But I was one, when they started the movement to smoke weed, I was totally against legalizing weed.
Oh,
really? Do you want to know why?
Really?
There's a reason why.
What's up?
Why do you think I didn't want them to legalize weed?
It's one of two things, right? Either because it would influence your ways of the soberness.
Yeah, it's not that.
Or something to do with money and taxes.
Yeah. I didn't want to pay tax.
Because weed got expensive, man. Out here in
Dude,
Arizona,
I didn't want to pay tax on weed.
100%.
I didn't want to pay tax on weed.
No, I get that.
That's 100% the reason why I didn't want it legalized. No, I was totally cool meeting some dude at a trailer park and getting my weed.
A little bit baggy,
an ounce at a time. 2 ounces actually at a time.
No, but
usually
that's, I mean,
dead serious.
It's so true though, because back when I was working at the dispensary, it was in 2020, back when the whole like legalization of it, blah 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 blah, and the tax on that is crazy.
Dude.
It was crazy. The taxes are crazy.
That's the reason that
no, I get
it's you still have illegal weed today.
100%.
So, but we were different. And, social issues, the only real social issue there is, and we'll just put aside because I don't want to get into it in this program, is really abortion.
Yeah.
Other than that, there really wasn't a big social issue, because I don't give a fuck, and most Republicans don't, who marries who. Just shut the fuck up about it. We don't give a shit. We don't give a shit about your fucking parades. I don't get the whole celebration shit.
About
okay.
What?
Well, I don't celebrate being straight.
Oh, gotcha. I think it's more of like because they feel like they were like repressed.
Get over it. Like, just move the fuck on. Just go have fun. Do whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what used to piss me off?
What's up?
You know what I was jealous of? I can't, okay. So I had some Melanotan.
Okay,
Melanotan 2. It's a peptide. And I had this one guy that used to get it from me. Okay. He was a redhead. And part of what Melanotan 2 does is tan you.
Okay.
Okay. And you could tan a redhead even, right? But one time, I took it to this bar downtown Toledo.
Okay.
And it was a gay bar.
Okay.
Okay. And I delivered it to him and I got paid, Well, I'd never been in a gay bar before.
Yeah.
They had gay porn on their TVs, dude. In the bar. Like, it's a public bar, but it's just a place where gay people drank. It was considered a gay bar. They had gay porn on like, in the straight bar, you got Monday Night Football.
What the fuck?
They had gay porn on. And I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Okay, well, now you know it's a thing.
Holy
I don't know if they still do it or not. Somebody can comment below. I don't know. It was a thing in Toledo. That's all I know. It's a true story.
That's interesting. But,
yes.
But anyways, go ahead.
But I was just like,
why?
I didn't get to see straight porn on any bars. How is it these motherfuckers get to watch gay porn in the bar, but we don't get straight porn in our bars? So I was a little jealous.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, you'd get a little you get looked at a little wrong if you're at a bar and you were like watching just porn on like the.
I don't know.
You get looked at a little bit.
Maybe. I'm just saying it was a thing. It crossed my mind. I just thought I would share it. Maybe I shouldn't have shared it.
I love that. That's
but
hilarious.
it's a true story. But yeah, taxes on weed. But we knew we were different.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you that I've definitely changed as a conservative, as a Republican. That there was a time when I was on the side of Bush.
Okay.
When I was on the side of Dick Cheney.
Okay.
When I was on the side of Colin Powell. 9/11 had a huge impact on me.
Okay.
Huge. And I was all about great, because I thought the way Bush conducted the first Iraqi war was stupid, that he had the chance to go in and finish the motherfuckers off and didn't. And he didn't because he said he was just going to push them out of, I don't know, was it Qatar? Whatever fucking country they were in that they invaded, push them out and not go in. And then we had all these problems. And the thing, my whole thing was, if there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, I don't know that we lied about it. Maybe we did. We can look at it now and say there really wasn't a lot there. It was old shit. But here's the thing. They said there were.
Mm-hmm.
Iraqis said there were. Saddam said there was. Now, he may have, obviously, he was bluffing, but he said it. And so if you say it and get your ass kicked because of it, that's on you. Fuck off. I don't care. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of technically threatening the entire world
at
that point. Like,
and,
with
and,
world
and then the whole Afghanistan thing, and then so we go into Afghanistan, and then, but after it dragged on and on, I'm like, fuck this, because I remember Russia getting involved in fighting in Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. Okay. That was their Vietnam. They left Afghanistan with their tail between their legs like we left Vietnam. They left equipment and shit there and didn't really win. And I'm thinking, fuck these motherfuckers and what they did. And it was a second attempt on the towers in New York. 9/11 wasn't the first attempt.
Really?
No. It was the second attempt. The first time was a bomb in a van in the parking underneath it.
The same building, though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Same building. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So I was all about, like, look, we had a truce. They broke the truce. They've lied. They haven't done what they're supposed to do. So if we go over and kick their ass, tough shit. Fuck them. So I was all for it.
Yeah.
And supported it. But it dragged on and on and on. And I'm an American. I like to win. And that includes wars.
Yeah.
Because we used to win wars. We weren't winning wars anymore. And how we were going about things, and I'm like, fuck this, man. I'm just not about that shit anymore. It didn't work for communists to try to spread communism around the world. Mm. And it hasn't worked for us to spread democracy around the world. It hasn't worked.
Yeah, that's been quite flawed.
Right. You should be able to determine whatever form of government you want in your country, and everybody else should stay the fuck out of it.
I agree. And if you believe in it, you can go visit, you can go do your thing. If you don't,
do your thing.
Stay out of it.
That's it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm just not about that shit, dude.
I understand the whole like world peace like argument and stuff like that, but like
there never will be
nearly impossible to get to the
war will always be with us. The poor will always be with us. That doesn't mean we shouldn't ever do anything about it.
Yeah.
But again, we have shit here we got to take 100%. Care of first. And that's just where we're all at. And again, we're different. I'm glad the neocons are gone. I'm glad the Bushes are gone, the Cheneys are gone, the Warhawks are gone from the Republican Party. That's why people used to say there wasn't much of a difference between Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
But there is now. And we're not the Republicans of just the rich country club people. That's not who we are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have some rich people like Elon Musk. So the fuck what? Both sides have their own billionaires. They just do. You have yours, we have ours. It is what it is.
Ours just happens to fly spaceships.
And I'm just a big believer in, obviously everybody can't attain the wealth of a Bezos or a Musk.
Yeah.
But everyone can do well. If you want to do
If
well,
you wanted to,
you can.
Without
In
doubt.
this country, you are not defined by the class you're born in.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
That's India. That's how that is. Like whatever class you're born in India, you're pretty much fucking stuck there.
Yep.
That's how that shit works. Unless you come here. That's a possibility that you're, from India and, let's just be honest. It can't be, I don't care if it is racist. They're the doctors and the engineers.
Yeah, the smarter people.
They are.
Because they're like,
dude, I went, my heart doctor's Dr. Bansal, for God's sakes. He's Indian.
Yeah, it's like the culture, like in places like that, it's like you're either gonna like be someone.
I don't
like
know what I have no idea what they do to their kids.
It's much different than they do here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask you something really quickly. Because one of the biggest like things towards the end was because of how big the difference was with Trump and Harris.
We've totally got off the election, didn't we?
Yeah, just a little bit, but it's okay.
But it was good stuff. I think it needed to be a base. Because we'll be talking about this
for a while,
for a minute.
That's for sure. But one of the biggest things, I forget who they were comparing them to, but back a few years back, where the Republicans got blown back like a tremendous amount. I believe like maybe in 2000. What would it have been? Early 2000s. Would have been 2002.
Presidential election?
Yeah, presidential. My number isn't too great, but anyways, early 2000s were
okay.
Or
because in 2000 you had Bush Gore,
but it was one of the years. Again, I'm sorry for not being able to remember this properly, but they were referring because like today or yesterday, how Kamala had such a massive like downside on like the supporters of Democrats, right?
Right.
And they kept repeating saying, right, like it's not necessarily that the Democrats didn't want to vote Democratic. It's just the Democratic Party isn't what Democrats truly believe Democrats should be. So
okay, well that's going to Clinton then. That's going to Bill Clinton.
I believe.
Okay, because Bill Clinton was called a blue dog Democrat.
Okay.
And blue dog Democrats were the more leaning conservative Democrats. And I'll just bring up abortion because for just a second, and the fact that the view of Bill Clinton was that the goal should be fewer abortions. Not outlawing it, not doing it, but the goal should not be having as many abortions as you can. You know what I mean? Yeah, and now the mindset that is out there, which is crazy to some of us, is that, abortion up until birth.
Yeah.
And here's the other, I don't want to get into this, but I listened to the podcast, that Jubilee podcast, Ben Shapiro against 2025 liberals. Yep. And one of the questions was abortion. And one of the things I got out of it that was really, really interesting was the whole group was liberal, right? And they challenged Ben on the abortion issue, but only a couple of them were really like extremists of abortion up until birth.
Yeah.
That's just not the position of most people. And even though I'm a conservative, even though I would like there to be 0 abortions. Yeah. I don't believe that that's something that can happen.
Definitely not, no.
And it's not that I want to compromise. I think the best thing for the country is to compromise, and that when you get rid of the hardcore 10% on the conservative side and the hardcore 10% on the left, we're all right there.
Yep.
And we need to tell that 10%, that 20% to fuck off and come up with a solution. Because I think at the very least, we should be able to come up with a compromise that's similar to what they do in Europe, which is 15 weeks.
Okay.
Almost every European country is like 15 weeks. Okay. Things like that. Yeah. And I didn't realize this, but because people always want to bring up the extremes. Don't throw, but what about your 12-year-old daughter gets raped and she gets pregnant? Okay. Getting pregnant, being raped is 5%. I looked it up. So out of 100 rapes, 5% of those rapes result in a pregnancy.
Yeah.
It's a tiny number. So take the total number of rapes, you'll get it. So you can't justify killing the other 95% because of the 5%, the extreme thing. You just can't do that. It's a stupid fucking argument. So just knock it the fuck off. But people that actually 35% of women who are raped, who get pregnant, bring it to term. I didn't know that either. I looked it up because I was looking up the other thing. I saw that, like that kind of thing. And that obviously that should be an option. It should be a choice. I can understand not wanting to do it. Obviously, somebody makes a mistake. I really think they should be talked about. You know, you made a mistake. It's not the end of the world, but do we really have to end the life? Can't you, with help?
There's options. And
maybe they need financial help. What if you're given financial help, you could bring it to term and give it up for adoption, because I was adopted. And I believe, you know, that as a conservative, if we want to offer that as an option, we should also offer financial help to those that need it to do that. Does that make sense?
That's one of the biggest reasons why someone wouldn't want to, right?
I would think so,
because
yeah.
of the financial struggle you would follow with.
Yeah. So, but I think there's that, we can really come up with
a solution,
answers and solutions. Instead, we're letting the two extremes scream at each other while the 80% of us in the middle are like,
what the fuck is going on?
This is fucked up. Yeah. Because listening to that made me realize again that I had forgotten, and I knew this, but I had forgotten how close we all really are on that.
Yeah.
You know? And again, I would prefer there would be 0, because I believe it's life at conception. I believe it's a Christian thing.
That's fair.
But I know that that
not a realistic view.
It's not a realistic solution. It's not going to happen, and almost no one wants the mother to die.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't want that.
No,
nobody should want that. That should always be an exception. Kind of a thing. Yeah. So that's where I'm saying, there's answers to this stuff, and I think Trump is open to those kinds of.
So I guess
answers
my
too.
question was:
yes.
Do you believe in the next few years that the Democrats will be changing their mindset? Do you think the Democrats will stay the same way they've been going so far? Because that was one of the discussions they were having. Is back when the Republicans got blown back, everyone sat down and was like, okay, what's going on? Let's fix this.
Yeah, but I don't know if they really did fix it.
Like my knowledge on politics isn't amazing.
Yeah, no, I don't know that they really fixed it. It's just that we just took over.
Is that what it is?
We took over. Trump took over. MAGA, the MAGA movement wasn't called MAGA really before Trump. But we were
it
here.
Was a thing, yeah.
We were Reagan. We were more Reagan conservatives. That's what we called ourselves.
Gotcha.
We were Reagan conservatives, and we believed in smaller government, which we still haven't gotten from either party, even Republicans. We got a small little taste of it in the 90s, actually under Bill Clinton. But we had a really good, strong Republican House of Representatives that got some shit done under Newt Gingrich. And all Clinton cared about was being president. He didn't care. He would compromise. You know, he did. Since then, they've gone backwards, but he did welfare reform and shit. He gave in to Republicans on welfare reform, compromise and stuff, because he just wanted to be president.
Yeah, he just wanted the title.
and get blowjobs under his desk. So he didn't care about that. So he gave them wins, and it worked out and was good stuff. But really, since then, we haven't had that. We've had little groups that have put things out there like that, about the financial things, because that's where we're really supposed to be. And I'm still there. We really do need to do that. We need to grow the economy and shrink the budget and the spending. It just cannot continue to go on like this. And that's where I think Elon Musk is going to be a huge help.
I'm excited to see what
he can
Elon
really
Musk
do
will
some
apply.
things.
One last question, just before I keep distracting you.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so now election, it's done. Election is
It's not done.
Other than like the House and stuff. You really do believe it?
Dude, not only is it, dude, they are still going to protest.
So that was my question.
So there's some of them. We haven't quite heard it yet, but I heard it before the election. So I'm waiting to hear it now again.
Okay.
I'm waiting for a Democratic House member to bring up the fact that Trump should not be allowed to take office because he led an insurrection, and they're gonna try to say that they've accepted the election. Kamala Harris may have accepted the election. She may have conceded.
Gotcha.
That doesn't mean all Democrats have conceded.
Gotcha.
And then they would say, well, see how Kamala accepted the results? Hillary didn't. And whatever that fucking bitch's name it was in Georgia a couple elections ago that ran for governor, she didn't accept the results of that. She'll still say today she got robbed of the Georgia election. Okay. So it's been said by both sides.
Okay.
And I'm not just talking votes here. I do believe that Trump was robbed of the 2020 election, not take the votes out of it, the cheating out of it by votes.
Yeah.
There was other cheating that went on, and that was through the investigations using the FBI to spy on the campaign, and also using the government to influence social media.
That's a big
and one. That was huge because there had been studies that, when you search something and what
Google.
you're searching is producing a certain result, and it's not the real result because the real result you wanted by what you put in there is down at number 20. And the first 5 things you're seeing are not there.
Yep.
So when you're not seeing it, maybe it's not true. Because I tried to search something on Trump about certain policies he had, and I had a terrible time finding it.
Really?
Yeah, you have to go to a different web search engine, maybe even like a DuckDuckGo.
Okay.
You familiar with that?
Gotcha.
Like where they're not really doing
They
that
can't
shit.
They're
not influencing it. It's just a simple web browser where you can find it. Because the answers it was spitting at me was like, I knew for a fact it wasn't true. Knew for a fact, but it was still spitting those answers anyways. Well, that influences people.
No,
and that's been proven.
Yeah.
So they did do that kind of stuff, and it's undoubtedly the election was so close. It's undeniable that. But whatever.
So what do you think that this next week? What does that look like to you then?
I still think within a couple days. I haven't seen it on X yet, but I don't think they're gonna wait till inauguration.
Yeah.
That's why I think earlier is going to be better. They're going to start protesting. If you go to The View today, one of them brings up the word protest.
Sure.
Start it after his whatever Trump says.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, here's The View.
So, how you feel?
I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
My takeaway is that the system works. We live in a democracy. People spoke. This is what people wanted. I vehemently disagree with the decision that Americans made, but I feel very, very hopeful that we have a democratic system in this country. We should value it. We should love it. We should protest if the situation arises that we need to protest, which I'm sure it will. And I've been through this before.
There you go. There's your protest, calling for protest. That's her dog whistle.
That was
Isn't
quick,
that what they
too.
call it? Dog whistle? They call it dog
legislate,
whistling.
yeah. That's interesting.
There's her dog whistle.
That is interesting.
Because, January 6th.
Man. That
was this morning.
Yeah. And that, pretty quick to it too.
Pretty quick.
What big cities are going first?
What's that?
So riots do happen. What big cities are going first? Do you think there's a specific city that's like they have already kind of like they know they have a good amount of support, so it's easier to influence in certain cities? Or
Well, one, Washington D.C.
Do you think that one?
Sure.
Yeah. Because again, the whole January 6th thing, right? You had a good amount of people that were able to be influenced in January 6th, right? So do you think they have that almost that same amount of people on the other side?
They have the same people protest whatever.
Yeah.
All the time. They're the same people.
Gotcha.
So, Washington, D.C., Portland, Los Angeles.
Do you think,
I don't know.
Do you think there's any Republican cities that you'll have not necessarily
what's a Republican city? What does that look like?
I'm not too familiar with the bigger cities or whatever like that, but because again,
we're in the suburbs, we're in the rural areas.
Yeah.
but I mean seriously,
Republicans
in general, you're looking at Republicans make up 30-40% of your cities.
Yeah.
They're dominated by the Democrats. The Democrats run the cities.
So you don't see any. I mean, there's no reason for it. I mean, we know now the results at the end of the day. Although people are still going to be counting.
We know the results, and we know the results are, for the most part,
Yeah.
We don't have any reason to doubt these results this time.
Exactly.
Nothing. I mean, nothing that I know of really crazy weird happened. There were, problems with some machines, certain places,
but it wasn't anything super.
No,
crazy.
nothing hey, we're gonna stop the voting, or 2 days later, oh, we forgot these 10 boxes and shit. That shit happened in Georgia last time.
I remember.
It was weird. Maybe it was legit, but it looked fucked up and that wasn't, Russian videos. They weren't Russian videos. They're already saying that this time, but it doesn't matter. Trump is so the election. It's not that the election is not legitimate.
Yeah,
the election is legitimate, and they'll acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
What's not legitimate is Trump. He should have never been allowed to run. He should have been disqualified because he's a felon. Because of January 6th. Makes him a traitor to the country. And if you're a traitor, you can't run for president. And that's why they will protest.
Gotcha.
That's the answer.
So that's going to be the main influence.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Because they know they've already lost at that point. So they're just trying to find the best way to
be disruptive. They want to disrupt him that for the next 4 years. Whatever they can do to be disruptive.
So do you think there will be a lot of chaos within the next 4 years on the liberal side?
It depends on how we handle it.
Okay.
Okay. And how we need to handle it is those motherfuckers are the enemy within.
Yeah.
We need to do what we have to do to end that shit.
Gotcha.
So if that means deploying National Guard troops to protect businesses and people's homes and their cities, then that's what we need to do. In any area. And it should not matter if you're in a blue state or a red state. It should not matter what party you are. If you're a governor, you have a duty to the citizens and the business owners in those cities to look. That's the number one thing government should do is protecting you.
Without those people, you don't have a government to run.
You should be protecting those. That's the number one thing. So we should do whatever we should do. I'm not saying we should deploy the National Guard or send the National Guard to shoot people.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
But okay, if you want to engage them,
that is a choice you're
making the choice.
You made that choice.
We're not deploying them for them to come hunt you and drag you out of your home.
Yeah, no.
I'm talking about just having a presence, like a police presence.
That alone will.
You would think it would.
I guess, yeah. You never know. Crazy people nowadays.
Yeah. That's that. I still, and I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I really do. But I honestly think if I am wrong, I'm wrong about the timing.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not wrong about it
actually
happening
happening.
because she just said. Did you hear what she said?
No, I heard.
And that sooner or later, there's going to be a reason for you to protest. That's what she's telling her side. Be ready to protest this administration and the things they're doing. And I don't know when the time is going to be, but there will come a time.
That's funny. Because I just finished the one of those shorts that he made. It's like, I don't know when it will happen, but it will happen. It's not a matter of when. Or not a matter of...
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
There it is.
And it is.
I mean, after hearing someone blatantly just say it like that, especially
And
on
see,
something that's viewed so much, like...
And it's not just her. Here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
I've said it. You are going to have probably Democratic House members saying this.
Okay.
I would be shocked if it would be a Democratic senator because they don't say shit like that. It's the House members. They're the crazy ones.
Gotcha.
Okay. The senators, not as crazy.
Yeah.
House members, they are. Okay. Because it's harder to become a senator than it is a House member.
Is it? I did not know that.
Well, think about it. You only have 100 senators.
I guess.
And the terms are 6 years.
Gotcha.
Well, numbers wise and what it takes to win a race and things, it's just harder.
I'm going to have to look into that. I'm not too knowledgeable on like I know obviously like there's less of, but the qualifications and stuff like that. I'll look into that.
Qualifications?
Because can anyone, because then you know what the president, there's like minimum, like.
Look, like.
You're just telling
There's so many that aren't qualified, man. Like,
God damn it.
The only qualification is can you get elected? That's the qualification. Look,
God,
come on. Look, like what did Alexandria, AOC Cortez, what were her qualifications before she became a member of the House of Representatives?
I couldn't tell you.
She went to college, and she was a bartender.
Huh. Oh, wait. Yeah, we did talk about that. You're right.
No, I don't think we did, but that's
I
what
think
she
it was
did.
like a short thing that you
Maybe,
like a small joke. You said something about a bartender being able to get into.
I'm just saying, that was her qualifications.
Wow.
She didn't start a business.
That makes me scratch my head.
Because I've known people who like had an insurance agency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there was a guy in Maumee that owned an insurance agency, and he became a member of the House of Representatives.
Okay.
But he owned a business. He owned a legitimate small business.
Yeah.
He had a background. He was in the community. He lived there, like.
Man,
I
get everyone gets a right to like run for whatever they want, but like we need to probably put some qualifications under those job titles, don't you think?
But that's supposed to be the job of the media.
Oh. Okay.
The media should be saying, this is who this person is. This is what they've done. That's what would happen to me. That's why I said, why do you think I'm not in like on that side of politics?
Like you said before,
because but maybe I could. Maybe I could.
Hell yeah.
But I had things in my life that I at least I believe disqualified me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
so clear now.
It wasn't being, it wasn't how smart I was because I'm pretty fucking smart.
But when it comes to politics, I obviously tell you, you're pretty knowledgeable when it comes to politics. So,
well, when it just comes to policy and things that work and doing the right thing for people and understanding what this country was founded on, what we were supposed to do, it's somewhat changed. Like we do way more shit for people than than the government's ever supposed to do for people. Okay, I can kind of live with that. What I can't live with is all this other shit that we do around the world and not taking care of our own people first. Leave it to the churches. Okay? Leave it to the missionaries and stuff. Our government that's not the business of our government to be facilitating that for other governments.
Yeah.
It's just not. So we need to stick to what we need to stick to, and other people can take up the slack. The wealthy people will take up the slack. That's what they should do. But if you're going to keep taking their money,
Why would
then
they
they're going to be
help?
like, well, okay, you're doing it. You do it then.
Yeah.
But it's more efficient if we let the rich person do it. They feel guilty anyways,
Exactly.
apparently. Let them do it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong though. You are not wrong.
So it was huge last night. The biggest thing that happened last night, though, was the fact that Trump will finish with the popular vote.
Yeah.
That is a knife in the chest of these motherfuckers.
Yes.
Okay, because they weren't expecting that. They thought possibly they could lose, but if they lost,
They could say we had.
they could say, well, we had the popular vote. You don't have a mandate. They can't say that now. And that is so big for them to that they can't say it.
Yeah.
And it takes a big weapon out of their hands to beat us back with. And there was going to be a push
Mhm.
for two things. One, the two things that they want to change is they want to change it to just be popular vote, period. They want to do away with the Electoral College. And then the other thing they want to do is they wanted to add enough Supreme Court seats
Mhm.
to even
it
things
out.
out or take control of the Supreme Court. They wanted to change the number of Supreme Court members.
Do you like the
Those
idea
are-
of getting
fuck
rid of the first part, the electoral votes?
No.
Why is that?
Because that truly is built in the checks and balances that you talk about,
Yeah.
so that, look, no offense, what do fucking city people know about what we do in the rural areas or farm areas?
Yeah.
You don't know our shit.
Yeah.
This is so that the rural and farm area has a voice, and that the majority when you simply have majority rule, the majority can run over the minority. It doesn't make them right, but they can run over them. We're talking about, we need these checks and balances, and now there's no checks for Trump because he's going to have both. No, there still is.
Yeah.
The check, and I know that the left won't agree with this because of our current number, because currently who is on the Supreme
situation.
Court?
Yes.
Okay. But honestly, the Supreme Court has had no problem voting against Trump.
Yep.
Okay. They just haven't neither side has gotten the opinion they wanted on all the issues. That hasn't happened.
And it shouldn't be
And
that
it
way.
shouldn't be
It
that
shouldn't
way.
be that
It's
way.
not. It's truly not.
Yes.
And the rulings they had does not allow him to do whatever he wants and be a dictator. Like, it just does not allow you to do that. And they just spread lies about that kind of stuff. And it's frustrating.
It's easy sitting on my end, right? Because my political knowledge isn't amazing, right? So it's pretty easy to be like, oh, if they have control of this, they have the control of that, they have control of this and that. It's pretty easy to say, oh,
well, here's the other thing. One of the other things that they wanted to do. Okay, let me give you an example that you're going to understand.
Yep.
So it's voting in the Senate is often different than the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
For certain things, you have to have
60
2/3?
Yeah, 2/3. Let's say that,
2/3.
to make it easy. Yeah.
Okay, you have to have 2/3. I don't think it's 60%. I think it's 2/3.
It's a little more than that. Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
Yep.
It especially because they don't have 2/3. They have a majority. They don't have 2/3.
Does it make it slightly
So
easier?
for Supreme Court judges,
Okay.
okay, this is how it used to be. For Supreme Court judges, it used to be 2/3.
Okay.
And you had filibusters and stuff. And filibusters, they used to actually make people filibuster. That was a thing. And filibuster was, you have the floor, you don't give up the floor, and you just talk and talk and talk, and you don't relent and okay. Watch an old movie, okay, with your friends.
Mhm.
It's a black and white movie. It's called Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. That will teach you, seriously, I
will.
mean,
It's on YouTube. I will watch
yeah,
it.
really watch that. That will teach you about the filibuster.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Look,
appreciate that.
1939.
I will.
Wow. Isn't that crazy?
39. I just,
Yeah.
my dyslexia for a second read 93. I was like, it's not that far back.
But he was legend, man. James Stewart was legend actor, like one of the all-time greats. Like, I don't know if they have. Do they have a Hall of Fame for actors?
I don't believe so.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I
But
think
if there
that's-
is, he would have been one of the first ones in it. But Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is a really, really good movie, right?
Okay.
That'll teach you that stuff.
Okay.
So, about the filibuster. So there was a time when people wanted Republicans to do what they called the nuclear option for the Supreme Court justices on the filibuster, okay, which is you had to have 2/3. And what they called the nuclear option was because the Republicans were in control, they wanted the Republicans to change the rules to make it a majority so that they could get the people they wanted and they wouldn't need 2/3, right?
Gotcha.
And the Republicans chose not to go the nuclear option route.
They wouldn't have been very smart, no.
Okay? But just wait for it.
Okay,
Wait for it.
okay.
They didn't do it. Because then if they can do it, guess what's going to happen when they're not in power? The other side's going to do
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
it. Okay. So here's what happened. The Democrats took control of the Senate. They used the nuclear option. They changed the rules in how you vote for a Supreme Court justice. So then guess what else happened? Then the Republicans took control. They didn't need 2/3 anymore. They're not the ones who changed the rules.
Yeah.
And who got fucked by their own rules? The reason that you have the Supreme Court justices on the court now that those motherfuckers bitch about is because those motherfuckers changed the rules.
Huh.
Why would the Republicans change them back? Like, they didn't
There's
change
no
it in the
reason for
first
it. Yeah,
place.
there's no reason
Like,
to.
you fuckers did it. Now you got to reap the whirlwind here. This is what it is. That's why we didn't do it in the first place. It's no different than Trump saying, like, Hillary should be in jail. I should put her in jail. Y'all want me, my supporters want me to put her in jail. Okay. The things she did, she should have been in jail.
Yeah.
I'm not putting her in jail. And he said that on Rogan, even.
He said that
Why?
multiple
Why did he
times,
say that?
Because he knows.
Because again, it would be bad for the country.
Yep.
Because if he did that to them, what are they're going to do it to him.
Straight back to him. Oh, yeah.
And now they're worried. Here's what they're worried about. See, they've been weaponizing the Department of Justice. They've been weaponizing government against Trump since the time he got out, and even from 2016 on, and coming after him every different way, and coming after him with the courts. I mean, this guy is that's why he won, is because people are like, no, you don't get to do that. And now they're worried that Trump is going to do what they do. So they go, oh, Trump's going to do this. He's going to do it. And like, you motherfuckers already have. And that's what Elon Musk went around Pennsylvania talking about for the past month and saying they're the ones. What they're saying Trump's going to do is exactly what they're doing. And they did it to him. Let me give another example.
Okay.
So one of the things this morning that was said on one of the shows is they're like, well, one is that X is a propaganda machine now, and that X is probably going to take over Truth Social, and him and Trump are going to make a bunch of money, and like it's just corrupt. It's corrupt. They're making up shit that the guys haven't even done.
Yeah.
Right? Just totally making up shit. I learned on so Joe Rogan has had Elon Musk on several times.
Yeah.
Well, he had him on again
Recently.
in the past week or so before the election. And one of the things I learned was that the Department of Justice only brings up a handful of cases a year, or goes after a handful of people a year.
Yep.
And they're going after Elon Musk, and they're suing his company SpaceX. And they're going after them because he doesn't hire asylum seekers.
Oh, I do remember this.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
Elon Musk explained why
Yeah.
he doesn't hire asylum seekers. And even though you're apparently not supposed to discriminate them, SpaceX is not Kmart.
Yep.
Or SpaceX is not Walmart. Kmart doesn't exist
Yeah,
anymore.
Kmart, yeah.
So it's not
Shout out to
Walmart.
Kmart.
They, they're dealing with technology that nobody else has in the world.
Yep.
Not even NASA.
Yep.
Okay. They have special technology. And so one of the rules that for SpaceX is that they have to abide by is that to work for them, you have to be a permanent resident.
Yep.
You don't have to be an American citizen, but you have to be a permanent resident.
Yep.
It doesn't mean you can't ever go back to your country, but you're less likely to do so if you're a permanent resident.
Yes.
Okay. And so one says you have to consider them. One rule says you don't. Well, which one do you think should take precedent? Probably the one where you don't want somebody to take this technology back to their home country, wherever it is.
Yep.
And if there is an issue that you have two conflicting rules, go to Congress, fix the rules. Say, you're not allowed to discriminate, except in the case of this rule takes precedent over this rule because this rule is more important.
Yes.
Okay? That's a Congress thing. What we shouldn't do is be using the government because you're pissed at Elon Musk now because he's not on your side. If he was on your side promoting your candidate, you'd be all good.
Yep.
But you want to go after him now because he's helped Trump and you want to hurt him. So this is what we're going to do. And we're going to make them spend money on attorneys and shit. And we're going to go after him for this. That is weaponizing. That should not motherfucking happen. And what I want Trump to do very, very quickly, as soon as he's allowed to, after taking office, is I want him to fire a shit ton of fucking people, dude. You all should be ready with resumes to fill some of these government, spot positions and stuff, because he's allowed to control the executive branch. He can, it doesn't matter if somebody's worked there 20 years or not. Okay. They undermined him before and they will undermine him again. And the left is going to bitch about it. Say, see, he's a dictator. He fired everybody. He's allowed to. The rules are he's allowed to. And that's exactly what he should do is fire those motherfuckers, get them out of there.
Yeah. You fill them in with people that are going to support.
Dude, get the people out of the Department of Justice that are doing this shit. Get rid of those cases. And it's not just, Trump got rid of that case to benefit Elon Musk. Elon Musk is doing great things for this country.
Yep.
We should be grateful to fucking have him no matter what your political party is. And if you can't fucking see that, you're a motherfucking moron.
I forget who said it, but you got to protect your smart
Trump said
people.
it.
Was it Trump?
Trump said it.
You got to
protect your genius. We got to protect your geniuses.
Exactly.
We got to protect your geniuses. Elon Musk
many
is
of
a
them or
genius.
something
We
like
got to
that.
protect him. He's so good. And I thought it was going to crash, and he didn't crash.
Oh,
He
yeah, that's
grabbed
what it was when he was talking about the fight. Yeah.
He's talking about the rocket. I put the phone down. He tells the same story. He's like, put the phone down. I didn't pick it back up for 45 minutes. I just didn't care. I'm watching this. And I call Elon. I'm like, is that you? And he says, yeah, that's me. Like, that's awesome. Like, who else can do this?
Yeah.
Nobody can do this. Well, this is great. We can do this. It is fucking great, dude.
100%.
It's fucking amazing. But that's what we shouldn't be doing. And that's what they're accusing Trump. Oh, he's going to come in. Let me tell you what Trump's not going to do. I know he's never going to see this, but if somebody,
we don't know that.
Somebody could pass it along to somebody who could pass along to somebody who can pass this along to Robert De Niro.
Okay, Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Okay.
Let me put that motherfucking idiot at ease. You've made some great movies. I love the movies. Even Raging Bull. I love, because you said fuck 100 times in Raging Bull. I love the movies. When it comes to politics, I think you're a fucking idiot. Trump's not coming after you. He's not putting you in jail. Nobody's putting you in jail, Robert De Niro, because nobody gives a fuck. Live out the rest of your life. Do another movie. Don't do another movie. Fuck young girls as long as they're over 18. Nobody cares. Really, do whatever you want to do. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Whatever. It's all good. but nobody's coming after you. The president is not coming after you. He doesn't have time for that shit. You're a petty old man, and you had your say. You said Trump wasn't ever going to get elected, and he did. You same motherfuckers that I can guarantee he's not going to get elected. Y'all said that in 2016. You weren't right then. You weren't right this time. This is one of the greatest stories of all time. So Trump was a success, you know, a successful real estate mogul, billionaire. I mean, the things he did, and he made some bad deals here and there with real estate. Everybody does, but he mostly did really good deals real estate wise. His bad deals really didn't come in the traditional real estate. It really came in the casinos. Okay. And that was just separate animal. It happens to many rich people, but it almost put him under.
Yeah.
Because he did back up the loans, and it almost put him under. And so Trump came out with his original book, The Art of the Deal, and everybody loved him. And then bad shit happened. He was hated for a minute, and he almost lost everything. And then, you know what America always likes? They like the comeback story, man. Yeah. They like it when you're successful, and then people want to see you fall, and he fell, and then he came back, and because he kept going, and a success story, and then he had that long run on television, with The Apprentice, and
Yep.
And then some people just think that's all he was The Apprentice, whatever. But he came back, and it was a huge comeback.
Well,
and then the same thing happens in politics. He's talking about the love of the country. He talks about it for years and what he would do, and talks about China for years. Go back 2008, 2004, whatever. Go back some years. See what Trump said about China. See what Trump said about China in 2014, 15, 2012 on Oprah or The View or whatever. See what he said, and then see what he says today. Dude said the same shit over and over again. And then he decides to run. And he wins. Shocks the world because, he's not a politician. That's what's happening. And then they want to see him crash and burn, and he crashes and burns.
Yep.
Right? COVID, they finally fuck him over, and he doesn't quit. And see, dude, I identify with that shit so much. I'm not a billionaire, but I identify with that shit so much because that's the one thing. My personal life story is just one thing: perseverance. Just keep going. And he did. And now he had this political comeback that nobody could come back from, where they tried to take his empire. They tried to put him in jail.
They tried to kill the man.
They tried to kill him. They didn't have none of these bitches, okay, from 30 years ago were saying that he touched their boobs 30 years ago. But after he was elected and they hated him, he touched their boobs, or he ogled, Miss America contestants or whatever. Oh, he's a... I'm sorry. If I'm in the dressing room for whatever reason and I'm allowed to be there in a Miss America pageant, I'm probably going to look. I'm just saying.
As a man, it'd be hard. It'd be hard.
I'm just going to look. Yeah.
It'd be hard not to.
Yes. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm very happy in my relationship, but I'm going to look. Seriously.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's not more to add to that. I mean, it's,
I don't know how
I'm pretty sure 99% of men would turn around.
Pretty much.
Give it a look.
Pretty much.
Will they do some crazy thing afterwards?
Whatever.
Probably not.
Right. And that's just it. They just threw everything at him, and he kept going, and he won. This is one of the greatest stories of all time. And it's our country, man. That is our country. This is not just a story for a billionaire.
No.
It's a story for that's why it resonates, man. It resonates because if you keep going, maybe you too.
Yeah.
Maybe you too.
Yeah.
And not just president, but whatever
you plan on
Maybe
doing.
you just want to be the president of a fucking plumbing country that employs 50 plumbers. I don't know. I got a friend who, did he benefit from the work his dad did in establishing a heating and air conditioning company? Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. He definitely, but it was small. It was small. And he took his dad's company, and his dad's passed, and his dad saw some of the growth when he was alive. But I know his dad sees what he did now and what he's built that to back in Genoa, Ohio. My friend Tom Wojciechowski and his kids and stuff, and some of them work for him. And I remember his sister used to work for him too. I don't know if she still does, but he built Wojo's Heating and Air into a bigger fucking
business.
Yeah, they were just a
business.
He's done very, very well. Very, very well. And he worked for it. And he enjoys deep sea fishing and going to Florida having a boat, and he should enjoy it because he built it. Dude, he did it.
He earned it.
He earned it. He learned about it from his dad, but he took it and took it to a height.
They gave him the framework.
His dad never thought his dad wasn't a bad guy. I'm not demeaning that in any way.
Yeah.
He just never thought as big as Tom did. Tom thought bigger. He thought bigger, and he built bigger, and he made it happen. And I don't know what Tom's worth, now, but I know he's
doing well.
Yeah. Yes. And I love that. I love it.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
People need to stop being so envious of other people and just if
Do
you
your
want something,
thing.
work for it. Work for it. Stop complaining about you being in a certain position. Just work. Do what you can do and just work towards what you can do. Like it's nice and simple. Like you're not going to be not every single person in the world is to become a billionaire. That's just impossible. It's impossible. It's not how that works.
Everybody can find their way somewhere into the 1% if you want to.
Yeah. Oh, without
the
a doubt.
1%.
You don't need to be at the very top of that.
Mm-mm.
You do not.
I can tell you, it's pretty good. Being at the bottom of the 1% is a pretty good fucking life, dude.
It's more than good. It's easily more than good.
It's fun. I see somebody, complaining about tickets, to games and stuff.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, man. It's resale. The teams are not pricing tickets at, me paying $750 or $800 a ticket for tickets to the Steelers that I didn't get to use because I was in the hospital for the Steelers Raiders was not that was not the face value of the ticket. In fact, I don't even know what the face value was.
Probably a few $100.
That was the resale market.
If that.
And the reason it got that on this resale market is there was such a percentage of people greater than me that pushed the price up that high. There was enough people with enough money that said, okay, so let's say you have the tickets.
Yeah.
You're the season ticket holder. The face value of the tickets is $250.
Yep.
300. He's 300. Do I hear 350? Now, it wasn't an auction, but that's basically what happened. It pushed it up. There's enough people that wanted those tickets that you're able to price them at $800, and I'm going to motherfucking buy it.
Yeah, that's like me and my coworker were actually having this conversation. Like one of the biggest
Don't be mad at the team, though.
The resellers. The resellers have killed for a lot of different things.
But they're able to do it because people are willing to pay it.
Exactly.
I was willing to pay it. You know what my other choice was? Don't go.
Don't go, yeah.
But guess what? I've gone to those things. I went to the Rose Bowl last year, the Rose Bowl game, Michigan, Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've done these things. And you know what? The whole motherfucking stadium was full. It was full. There's enough people that are willing to do that. And instead of bitching about how much and they're taking their kids, dude. They're taking so somebody can afford the tickets and take their kids. Maybe you can't. But
that means
people have this mentality that they should be able to. Why? Why should you be able to? Why should you be able to get tickets for $50 a piece and take your kids? Why? Who said?
Yeah.
Who created that fucking rule?
The fairness, right?
You know what? Like, it's not fair. But you know what? You can either bitch about it or you can
Or
be
work.
about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Do something else.
100%.
You know? If you're not making enough in whatever your fucking occupation is, find another occupation.
Start reflecting on
You
your
know
life.
what? Baby, so, well, but I work 10 hours a day. Well, you may have to spend another 4 hours a day going to college on your computer and finding something else.
Yeah.
And creating other skills that are worth more than whatever it is you're doing now.
Exactly.
And that's on you. Nobody is stopping you.
And
that's the thing. Nobody's stopping you.
No one's saying you can't.
You are.
Exactly.
Nobody else is stopping you.
Yeah. It's like
So
it's
like
time's gonna change. So that means what you are like.
Dude,
having
we
to
have
work
brand new opportunities now.
Oh man. I mean, look what I would if it wasn't, bro. Look at where I'm sitting. I was a bank teller, dog.
And the other thing is like you already started using it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Growing up, I used it
No. I'm talking about AI.
Oh, AI. Oh, yeah.
But you're using I don't know if people realize this is a podcast, but in the other content that we put out, we're also using AI to help us put together that content, or you are.
Yeah. To make,
but I'm just, but that's where that's what's amazing.
Yeah.
That's what the opportunity is.
Exactly.
Like
use the resources.
Use the resources.
Use your resources.
Learn how to do that stuff.
Yes.
Instead of bitching about AI, how can you use AI to do what we're doing now and do it better?
Exactly.
That's all.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
No, I agree.
And we need to do this tomorrow, right?
We'll be right back tomorrow.
All right,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we'll do this tomorrow. And I want to get into, there was a question asked
Okay.
by Trump that was famous, that Reagan made famous.
Okay.
And that was, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
Okay.
Having people look at it. And I am better. I grew my business every year under Biden, and I am doing better financially. I'm making more money now than I did under Trump. So why did I vote for Trump? That's where we're going to take it tomorrow.
I like that.
Okay?
I like that.
Because I have an answer, and I have a good answer.
And I want to hear it. But we're also 2.5 hours into this podcast.
No way. We did not do that. I did not do 2.5 hours. I can't do 2.5 hours on my own with you. That's insane, man.
Yeah, this was.
Is this the longest podcast we've ever done?
Easily the longest podcast we've done. But this
Holy
was a lot of fun.
motherfuck, dude!
I
had no idea. I figured an hour and a half.
I think this one was worth the 2 hour and a half kind of talk though. This was good.
I hope I want to listen to this back because I just do.
No, it's fun to re-listen to it because then you kind of get a different perspective. Because
because I had an idea of what I wanted to do, and then I started doing the Trump weave. And I don't know if I stayed on track or got out what I wanted to, but
I think we.
But here's the thing: what I got out or said felt like it was important.
I agree,
and gave a basis. And maybe I don't want my content to be like everybody else. I don't want to regurgitate all the other shit people are doing.
Yeah.
I want to relate it to my experience, and so people can hear that and what I think about it. And hopefully they enjoy that.
And that's why I feel like this episode was actually, for me at least, it was a lot more like engaging, entertaining, because it's like we're getting like a perspective of you.
Yeah.
And because obviously we went over some stuff that like the majority of people are going to be covering, blah blah blah. But then you bring in like specific like thoughts and like certain things that like most people.
And again, one of the things I want to be here for y'all is I want to be here as a resource for you. So, because there's so much information out there, you have to learn how to discern what is good and not good information and where to get it and who you can trust. And I'm not telling you to just trust me, but at least trust the fact that I'm whittling it down for you and giving you a direction to go and some people to listen to and figure out who works for you and whose message you like and how they say it to you. Some people, it's going to be better. Some people are going to be harsher like I am. Some people are not going to be as harsh and you like the way they talk, whatever. But at least you know that what I really want to give you is this is what I'm taking in, what I'm putting into my human computer to come up with the conclusions that I give.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm always looking for from other people is, okay, you said this, but what in the world are you putting into your head that make you come out with that result? And then are you willing to put something else in there that's true that may alter that? And I am always willing to
keep an open mind.
To keep, to in some ways keep an open mind, to take something in that has the potential to do that.
100%.
Or for me, and I am not ever afraid to say I'm wrong about something or to revisit something to say I'm wrong. I am absolutely willing to do that because to me, that's just more honest. And politicians have a hard time being that honest because if they are, they get smashed for it.
Oh, yeah.
And you can smash me all you want. I don't give a fuck. It's not going to change a damn fucking thing. Like zero. So
in fact,
have at it.
Do it because the engagement's going to go up.
Yeah, that's all good. All right. That was good. That was fun. 2.5 hours.
I enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this. I mean, I'm not going to enjoy having to edit this and put it up by tomorrow, but
Woo!
But this was fun. Recording
was
this
great.
was a lot of fun.
That was great. And I couldn't wait for you to get here to do this.
That's why I texted you early. I was like,
I'm ready to go, man.
I've
been ready to go. I've been itching. I got shit to say. I got shit on my mind, and this is my fucking therapy now. And you all get to hear me doing my therapy. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the motherfucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life.